Okay, this is video 1 of a 3-part video which I'm going to send to you, and you was interested in finding out about how to build something as simple as this. So what I shall do is just quickly create that, and then I'll do the other part you've asked for in another video. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to steels under mechanical, so go down to here, open up mechanical and drag in a steel section, and I believe that the section that you're looking at is, according to the information you sent to me, is a 30 by 30, has a 2mm thick piece of steel. I'm going to turn these off, and I'm not going to create attachment points, and I'm going to do it to the height, and I believe the height is 650. So if I put 650 on there, and the blue button will generate that size, zoom out, and the green will then create it. I need 4 of these. Okay, so what I shall do is I should put the tri-ball on and move that, and I'll copy that across, and I believe it has to be 1200, so I'll make this 1200. Ooh. And what I shall do is I shall now select this one and this one, turn on the tri-ball again, and I'll go back and I'll copy here 550 because we have 100mm offset on this, and then basically if I turn off the tri-ball, there I have the 4 parts of the uprights created. And then what I'll do is with the steel, I'll just drag a steel on that section there. I can then use this magic wand to calculate the distance before it finds the other one, update that, say OK, and what I want to do is I'm going to go in that axis and I'll move this distance from point, pick the bottom point there, and that should be about 150mm, I think. Okay. And I can do the same again, turn off that and drop another steel on the other side, and it should be, everything should be the same, so you just need to say OK, and I'll do the same again, distance from point, pick that point there and say 150. Turn off tri-ball. I can then rotate it around here and just drop a steel onto this part here and use the magic wand to calculate the distance, update it, say OK, and what I'll do is I'll just align the two up. I know I need to go to the center point of that one there, so that's in line, and put the tri-ball back on again and copy it across there, and we know that that was 1200, and we got the basic shape in already for the base. What I can do is I can actually, if I wanted to, it makes it a lot easier actually, if I start up the sheet metal and I'll just drop a bit of stock onto the top there, and I'm just going to drag the stock to the size I want. I want to go onto that edge there, and I want to go to, I think I'll go to that edge. Let's just move that back a bit. I want to choose that face there, and I'm going to do the same to that face there, and obviously this is gone beyond point there, so I just need to just drag that one down to that face. So you notice that I'm using the actual assembly part to define my sizes. So okay, so I've got everything in place there. Obviously the sheet metal has to be cut out to put the holes in, so I can do it one or two ways. I could have made the stock bigger and then just put the corners on, but I wanted to show you a different way by adding stocks. If we add some stock, and I drop the stock onto that part there, so just need to select the edge, there we go. I just need to move the stock in a bit, and I'm going to choose that stock to be that width, and I'm going to get it to go to that face there, rotate that round to that face, and then I'm just going to add a bend on that end just to go down. And to do that, I do an in-bend, which basically means the in-bend is the dimension which you're going to go to. It'll bend beyond that point. So obviously I need an in-bend, because otherwise if I do an out-bend, the outer dimension will be driving, and that'll cut into that bar there. So I'm going to do an in-bend. Just drag and drop it onto that point there. It's obviously I selected the wrong edge. I just need to zoom in, and if I pick on that part, I can actually change the direction. I'm just going to drag it down and drop it to the end. So that's that side done. And what I can do now is do an in-bend again on this bottom edge. I'm just going to drag it down till it's the same length as that. And let's just zoom in a bit and do an in-bend on this bottom one here, and take that down to that point there. And the same we need to do for this edge here. Now I can either do it two ways. I can get those parts and copy across, but it's just as easy for me to add in my stock and just do what I need to do. There you can see it's quite easy to work, and I'm using the other parts in the assembly to drive what I need, the dimensions, so I don't have to go and work out through a sketch or anything like that. So there's the stock. I just need an in-bend again on this part here. I think I've selected the wrong one. Yep, there we go. Always the way. And zoom out, and I'll just take the edge and drop it to the same as that. So basically that's the bottom rail done. As you can see, that looks pretty good. And if I can have a look, if I wanted to, I can unfold that and I can have a look at that, and it gives you the bend lines, so you can get all those dimensions off the bend lines and all the cutouts and etc. So you can send that to a drawing. Let's just refold it again. Let's have a look at what we've got. So we need to do something very similar on the top, and I can either copy this all the way up to the top, or I could, if I wanted to, I could recreate it again. But because it's got an unusual shape, it goes across at the back, as well as the sides are slightly wider. I think what I'll do is I'll just add and build it up again, easier to do it that way. So if I go back to my mechanical and I drop in my steels again, if I just pick on that, so now let me cancel that one, zoom in. I just need to pick the face, and that then tells it where it wants to go. Use that to calculate, zoom out, and I'm just going to say okay for that for a moment. I'm going to move that up, and what I want to do is put the bottom face are on that top there. So what I shall do is unlock the tribal, pick the axes, drop it down so it's on that bottom face, relock the tribal, and then get that to work on that top edge. Now you can see it's put both sides on there. Turn off the tribal, and now I can stretch these parts to a certain size. So let me have a look. Let me zoom in a bit here. I want to choose that face there, and you see that's 1200, which is correct, is what it should be. And I want to make that 1200 plus keyboards. Let's go. We're going to go 30, I think. Hit return. Let's push that out that way. And I'm going to pick that edge there, so that's 1260. I want to add another 30 to that, plus 30. So they're both 30 longer than the edge. And then what I'll do is I'll put the tribal on, and I will move this to the center. So I'm going to pick the point there, fix the axes. I want to go to the center point there. So I want to move there. Distance, I think we said 550, so that could be a better way of doing it. Did do a very good job of that. Now what I need to do is turn the tribal on the part, not on the intelli part. So I'm going to take that point, and I'm just going to move that down that way. I'm going to copy here, and it's 550. Say OK. Turn the tribal off. So we've got the two parts there. I just need to add one across there now. And I want to measure the distance, update the size, say OK. I'm going to fix the axes, turn the tribal off, just move it to the edge, relock the tribal, and then move it to the edge on the outside. It looks like we're a bit high as well, so let's pick that edge, and we're going to go down to the center there. That's perfect. Right, I'm going to pick that axis, I'm going to copy there, and I feel like same as the other one, it hasn't changed. 1290, I think. Let's do 1200. Always the way. I should have calculated it. Put the tribal on, and let's rotate it. So I want to go in that axis there, unlock the tribal, push it to that face, relock the tribal, and push it to that edge. So there we go. So we got the top part already done, but that's not how you would do that. Normally you would cut those at an angle, and so you want to cut the steels. So then what we can do is we can extend what we call extend the steels, pick that edge or that part, then we're going to pick that part, and that's a cut angle, which is going to be a mitre. Say OK. And there we got a nice cut angle on that one. I do exactly the same again. Pick that one. It's just a quick way of doing this. And the last time. So there's the top part. Actually, what we should have done is, if I remember correctly, that was going to go further back, because it goes beyond that point. Never mind, that's something that's quite easy to do. What you needed to have done was just either extend that. I should have then put that center bar on the edge there. But okay, let's just leave it at that for the moment, or move that further over and done something with that. So let's go back to our sheet metal, and I just want to do this something very similar again in the sheet metal. Just drop it on the top. I want to pick it on to that edge there, and move that all the way down to that edge. I need to rotate it around just to make sure I get that face there and the face there. Same again on. So we got the basic top part. Now we can use a nice facility within the sheet metal tool set. So if I do an in-bend, and I'm just going to drop it on the edge. And I need to just drag that down till it gets to that surface. And what I can do now is, now I've selected, I can actually do in the sheet metal tools, I can do add miter. So I've selected I need to select the bend. I just pick the edges and just make sure I get the right edges. Yep, so I need to choose that edge. I didn't get the right edge. There you go. And if I say OK, it will add those miter parts there. And if I then do an in bend again on the top, and I can then pick that point there, say distance from point, pick that there, and I can say, I think it's say 50 mil. That's gone up 50 mil, and it's got obviously a fold around the back. So what we'll do is we'll put a hem on that, and we'll just take the edge and drop it down to that edge there. So there, basically, that's how we've quickly created that table. And then you can actually go to adding parts, go to Trace Community, log in, because you get a free login, and download an IronCAD. It will actually search for IronCAD parts, so you can put in casters or different feet and things like that and just drop them on. But just to show you that it is a true sheet metal part, I'm just going to unfold that. There you can see that we've got our connection, sorry, our sheet metal with all the fold lines, bend lines and such. So if I really unfold that, if I wanted to actually, what I will do is I'll go back to the home. You have to save it, so I shall save it. In this case, I'm going to go to your area there. I'm just going to call it table. Save that. If I open that and fold that, I can, if I wanted to, by selecting it, is front view definition. So I'm going to pick the front view, which is the arrow there. Then I'm going to pick the edge, and I can actually click on that and change the arrow. So horizontal direction, take that out. Let's put it on here. I believe I can put it that way. There. Say OK, and then I can do a new drawing from that. And then you can say, yep, I just want that view. I won't bother with an isometric view. And it gives you the dimensions, so you can then go in and say, okay, I want a dimension from there to there. You can then pick and you can just pick the edges. And you can do all your dimensions. You can pick information from that to there. So you got all the cut lines, the bend lines, and just carry on doing all the dimensions. I hope you found that interesting, and got any questions, then please come back to me.